By any other house Antonia, I pray you mark me, that a sister could be so perfidious. She who next thyself of all the world I loved, and to her put the manage of my state, as then it was, through all the signories the first, and Prospero the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts without parallel. These being all my study, the government I cast upon my sister, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret art. My false sister, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most equally.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for o'ertopping new created creatures that were mine, I say, or changed them, or else you formed them. Having both the key to officer and office, set all hearts in the state to what tune pleased her ear, that then she was the ivy that hid my princely trunk and sucked the bird hour. Thou attends not.
Oh, good sir, I do.
I pray thee, mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, but by being so retired or prized on popular rate, in my false sister awakened an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, to beget of her a falsehood in its contrary as great as my trust was, which indeed had no limit. To credit her own lie, she did believe she was indeed a duchess, out of the substitution and the execution of the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence, her ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, with your deafness.
To have no screen between the part she played and her she played it for, she needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalty she now thinks me incapable. Confederates, so dry she was for sway, the king of Naples, to give him homage, to do him annual tribute, subject her coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed. Alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark her condition, and the event, then say if this might be a sister.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother, could most born bad sons.
Now the condition. The king of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my sister's suit, which was that she, in lieu of the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extricate me and mine from the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all honors on my sister. Whereon a treacherous army levied, one midnight fated to the purpose did Antonia open the gates of Milan, and the ministers for this purpose hurried thence, me and my crying self.
Oh, for pity! I now remember how I cried out then, will cry over again. Is it that brings my eyes to it?
Here a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business which now's upon us, without the which this tale were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not let out destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on this business, but with fairer colors painted their foul ends. In few they hurried us aboard a bark, for were us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively had quitted. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the wind some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity being then appointed master of this design to give us, with rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessities, which have since studied much. So, out of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he did furnish me with volumes out of my own library that I prize above my dukedom.
Oh, but I might not ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princes can, that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for it to still be in my mind. Your reason for raising this sea storm.
No thus far forth. By accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my good lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and through my prescience I do find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, if whose influence now I court not but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. It is a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come, my servant, I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come.
All hail, great master. Grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. You to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds. To thy strong bidding, task Ariel with all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed the point, the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil could not infect his reason?
Not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and hid the vessel, then all fire with me. The king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, Hell is empty, and all the devils are here.
My brave spirit. But was this not my shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And, as thou badest me, in troops have I dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling off the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, sailed out disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in the harbour is the king's ship, in the deep nook where once thou coursing up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed Bermudas. There she's hid. The mariners all under hatches stowed have I left to sleep. And for the rest of the fleet which I dispersed, they have all met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there is more work. What is the time of day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now, Moody? Wouldst thou can demand?
My liberty,
Before the time be out? No more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without grudge or grumblings, thou had promised to bait me a full year.
Hast thou forgot from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy had grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast! Where was she born? Speak. Tell me.
Sir, in Algiers.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgett'st. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Algiers, thou knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is this not true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant. And for thou wast a spirit too delicate to enact her earthly and abhorred commands. Refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee into a cloven pine, within which rift imprisoned thou did painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died and left thee there to vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this island, save for the sun that she did litter here.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, who now I keep in service. Thou best knowest what a torment I found thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl and penetrate the breasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was my art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurst, I will bend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say, what? What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but mine and thine, invisible to all eyeball else. Go, take this shape and hither cometh. Hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart. Awake. Thou hast slept well.
Like, the strangest of your story, but heaviness in me.
Come, shake it off. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look upon.
But as it is, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho! Slave! Caliban! Thou art thou! Speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say! There's other business for thee. Now, tortoise, when? Fine apparition. Hearken thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Poisonous slave, got by the devil himself on thy most wicked dam, come forth!
As wicked you, as e'er my mother brush, with raven's feather from an wholesome fen, drop on you both. A southwest blow on you, and blister you all up.
This be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps. Side stitches shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall, for the breath of night, that they may work all exercise on thee.
I must eat my dinner.
meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words which made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had it which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, which deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language. My rough taught is, I know how to curse. The red clay bridge is the learning of your language.
Hexy! Hence! Fetch us and fuel and be quick! Thou art best to answer other business. Shrugg'st thou malice? If thou neglect'st, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill thy bones with ache, and make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No, baby! I must obey. His eyes have such power it would control my damned god Tempest, and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence!
A single thing, as I am now,
Now's the time to do it. At first sight, they have changed eyes. Spirit, I will set you free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw. I sighed for. Pity will my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin in your affections not gone forth, I'll make you the queen of Naples.
Soft, sir. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more, I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put yourself on this isle as a spy to win it from me, the Lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit has so fair a house, good things will strive to go with.
Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots and husks wherein the acorn cradle.
No, I will resist such entertainment until my enemy has more power.
uniform basis that, as stooping to relieve him, I knocked out he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you have yourself to thank for this great loss. That would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eye that hath most cause to let grief on it.
Prithee, peace.
You are kneel to and importuned otherwise by all of us, while the fair soul herself weighed between lowliness and obedience, at which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Human and Naples have more widows in them of this business making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth that you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rubbed the wound, you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in all of us, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Very foul. Had I a plantation on this isle, my lord, exotic with nettle seed,
Or docks or mallows.
and working on it, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I would by contraries execute all things, for no kind of traffic would I permit, no name of magistrate, no use of metal, corn, or wine, or oil, no occupation, all men idle, all, and women too, innocent and pure, no sovereign.
Yet he be king on it.
The end of the Commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own abundance all poison to feed my innocent people.
No marrying amongst his subjects.
None, like whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
God save his majesty!
Long live Gonzalo!
And do you mark me, sir? Be no more thou dost talk nothing to me. I do well believe your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs, they are oft wont to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling have nothing to you. So you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
What a blow was there again?
And it had not fallen flat long.
You gentle people of brave metal, you would laugh the moon out of her sphere if she would continue in it 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go back fouling.
Nay, Lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you. I will not venture my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me to sleep? For I am very weary.
Go sleep. Hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? I would mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. Self
man's life, she that from whom we were all ceased from, some cast again, and by that providence to perform an act of what's past is prologue, what's left is in yours and my discourse.
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true. My brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry, how shall that Clarabelle measure its back to Naples? Keeping Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say that this were death that has now possessed them. They're no worse than now they are. There are lords that can prate as amply as unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself can make a chop with his deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that what a sleep this would be for your advancement. Do you understand?
Methinks I do.
And how does your contentment tender your good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how much feeder my garments sit on me. Much better than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they're my men.
But for your conscience?
Aye, and where lies that? 20 consciences stand twixt me and Milan. Can we be led and melt your their fathers? Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon. If he were that which now he is life, that's dead, which I, with this obedience deal, 3 inches of it, and put to rest forever, whilst you, doing thus, can to the perpetual weak wipe away this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. As for the rest, they'll take suggestions at cat lap's milk. They'll tell the clock to any business we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gott's Milan, all come by Naples. Draw thy knife. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute that thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Then draw thy sword, and prepare to fall it upon Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
My master drew his off to seize the danger that you his friend are in, and since he full for else's project eyes to keep you living. While you hear your story lie, open eye can spirit sigh, his time about to take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake!
Then let us both be summoned.
We heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather, lions. Did not wake you? I hear most terribly.
I've heard nothing. Oh, 'twas a din to wake a monster's ear, to raise an earthquake. Truly, it was the roaring of a whole herd of lions. Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one which did awake me. I shaped you as mine eyes opened. I saw their weapons drawn, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons. Lead off this ground. Let's make further search for my poor son. Heaven keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island. Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats, on prosper fall, and make him by inchmeal disease. His spirits hear me! I'll fall flat. The chance he will not mind me.
There's been a bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. I can hear it sing in the wind. Oh, what have we here? Man or fish? Dead or alive? Fish. He smells like fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell, a kind not of the news for John. A strange fish. Were I in England now as once I was and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool would give me a piece of silver. Legs like a man, and his fins like arms. Warm my trough. I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish. But an islander that had lately suffered from a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again. Madness ways to creep under his gravity. There's no shelter hereabouts. Misery creates man with strange bedfellows. I was shrouded into the dregs of storm he passed. I shall no more. Here shall I die, sure. This is a very scurvy tune to sing in a man's spirit. Well, here's my comfort. The master swabber, the bosun, the dog, the gunner and his mate,